mynews.studio.
Picture this, a flash of electric yellow darting through a forest where for decades, birds were just a memory. Could this be the moment conservationists worldwide have been hoping for?
The date is June 4th, 2025. Today, we're discussing the return of the helmeted honeyeater in Victoria, Australia. This bird hadn't been seen in Sardinia since the Ash Wednesday bushfires back in 1983. So why does its reappearance matter now, after 42 years?
It's significant because the helmeted honeyeater was nearly wiped out after those fires. The Ash Wednesday bushfires destroyed so much of their habitat. By 1989, only about 50 individuals remained. Do you know what pushed them so close to extinction?
Well, the fires were just the start. There was also the problem of habitat loss due to land clearing, invasive species coming in, and disease. For many years, it looked like the species might disappear completely. So, what changed?
That's when conservationists implemented a recovery plan. They began with captive breeding at places like Healesville Sanctuary. But honestly, breeding birds in captivity is one thing. Getting them to thrive in the wild is something else entirely.
Right, and to tackle that, they focused on restoring the helmeted honeyeater's habitat. The Yellingbo Nature Conservation Reserve became their main focus, the last stronghold for the species. They replanted swamp forests and took steps to protect them. But that can't be the whole solution, can it?
No, you're spot on. They also introduced supplementary feeding. Volunteers provided food and monitored the birds' health and behavior closely. That hands-on approach helped increase survival rates. Still, with a population that small, genetic diversity must have been a concern, right?
Definitely. That's where genetic rescue methods came in. Scientists looked at crossbreeding and, in some cases, gene editing, sometimes called assisted evolution, to boost resilience. It's a controversial strategy, but extinction was the alternative. Is that the kind of bold action conservation needs now?
That's been the debate, but it looks like the risk paid off. In May 2025, conservationists released 21 captive-bred adult birds into the Yellingbo Landscape Conservation Area in Sardinia. And the really noteworthy part, these birds are adapting and surviving in the wild.
So after 42 years, they're back. What does this mean for conservation efforts outside Australia?
It's become a kind of template. The mix of captive breeding, habitat restoration, involving the community, and using genetic tools is drawing attention globally. Regions facing biodiversity loss, from California after wildfires to the Amazon, are starting to look at this as a possible model.
But can this approach work everywhere? Every species and ecosystem is different.
That's a good point. The specific actions might change, but the principles hold. Protect habitat, restore what's been lost, involve local people, and let science guide decisions. It's about persistence, not quick solutions. At the same time, climate change means we have to act quickly.
There's also something educational here. The helmeted honeyeater's journey helps connect people to the bigger picture, why biodiversity matters, and how everything in an ecosystem is linked.
Exactly. It's never just about one bird. When a species recovers, it's proof that ecosystems can heal if we make the effort. This story is a call to action. The question is, will we use these lessons elsewhere before time runs out?
That's what it comes down to. A conservation biologist put it simply, we need to take risks. We need to be bolder. Maybe this comeback will encourage that kind of thinking in other places.
Today we explored how 4 decades of science and community work brought a bird back from the edge. The helmeted honeyeater's story isn't just a local event. It's evidence that, with the right approach, extinction isn't always the end.
Thanks for joining us. We broke down how a species nearly disappeared, how it was saved, and what that means for conservation everywhere.
Thank you for listening. This episode was powered by mynews.studio. Try it out for free.